What's up, guys? We're gonna do another defense video today, but before I jump into it, I just kind of wanted to say that I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do this video when I first, when I first did the defense that I'm gonna be showing you. Um, I had a couple really awesome replays, and a little bit later I realized that it was glitching out on a couple of people. More and more, it started happening over the last couple of days, and I wasn't sure that I wanted to show it off because I didn't really want to educate the masses to this glitch, really. I didn't want to have it become widespread. The problem is it already has become widespread over the last couple of days, and I think most people already know that it exists. So I'm going to do the video anyway. The devs already said that they're looking at the glitch. It should probably be fixed by open beta. It's on the top priority of their lists of bugs to fix because it's pretty game breaking. But if most of you guys know kind of what it is, it has to do with this room. This room is kind of buggy right now, and I'm not really going to go into why it's buggy. If you don't know, probably it's just best that you don't know, and you hope that you won't get affected by it in the future. But this room's a little bit buggy, but we're still going to do this defense guide. I think most of you guys already know what the bug is, and like I said, it's going to get fixed, so it shouldn't be a big deal. So let's take a look at the defense. You can kind of see, basically when I first did this, there was a couple of reasons for me doing this defense. The first is I wanted to use something that wasn't really used all that often in pre-free creation. I wanted to make something kind of unique that not many people were doing. So I kind of looked at the jelly wall, and I was trying to think of what I could do with the jelly wall. And so I was thinking about it, and when I first came up with it, I was like, okay, maybe I could do a jelly wall room and just put traps in here. I saw this in the test server. Someone did a jelly wall plus trap thing just to deal damage, and that's all they were doing. And so I was looking at it, and I was like, well, that would take a ton of defense points. I think back then they didn't require generators to make the jelly walls work. There was a lot of changes, obviously, in the test server. So I was like, well, that's not really the best thing ever. Let me think of what else I could do with it. And I was thinking that, Cyclopses and poundmores can charge through caltrops. When an archer lays down caltrops, they don't get slowed when they're in charge. So what if I did that with jelly walls? Can they charge through jelly walls? And so I did some testing, and I realized, yes, they can charge uninterrupted through jelly walls. And it actually worked out very well. Hopefully I'll be able to show exactly what it does and why it all works really well with these three poundmores. But basically the idea is you're stuck in this jelly wall. The ballistic traps will do a little bit of damage, but really they're made to just put pressure on this room in general. And then you have these three poundmores that will all aggro. They're all aggro, but they won't all attack you. Only one will attack you at once, unless you do damage to them, which mages and archers almost always do. Knights can get away with dealing with this group a little bit more easily. And also it's easier if you kind of just roll through my castle right now and start to fight it inside of this room, which a couple of people have done. When I get a few more defense points, I'm going to put in a little bit more trap coverage in this area, maybe some trap coverage down in here as well, and make it a little bit more difficult. The second reason I did this was because if you guys remember my attacking video, I kind of told you a little bit of a trick on how to deal with these big boss rooms that have a ton of creatures inside, is to pull it one room away and fight it there. So I was thinking if I can make it so that if you pull it back to this room, you're in this really awkward spot and you can't really fight inside of it, and you might have to pull it all the way back to the entrance point where you don't really have anywhere else to kite. If you kite it back to this and you haven't killed the entire thing, you have to fight it in this small room. So that's at least the idea at first. You can see I'm running one room short because of that. I want to have pressure throughout my entire castle if I can. So let's see if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about before we jump into it. Give you guys a better look. It's just kind of a maze of jelly walls. I didn't really go into specific details on why the jelly walls are in these specific spots. It's just kind of a good coverage, mostly up towards the end of this, and then there's a little bit of room back in here, but the ballista traps seem to cover pretty much this entire room except for this corner over here, and maybe a little bit in this corner right here. So if they try to fight the poundmores anywhere in here, they should take at least a little bit of trap damage from the ballistas. And then the poundmores themselves behave pretty well inside of this jelly wall room, other than when they get glitched, which is pretty unfortunate. But I also wanted to do this because I know a couple of my viewers ran into my castle and they ended up getting glitched and had to leave the castle, weren't able to complete it and stuff like that. So I wanted to show you I didn't do it on purpose to actually try to glitch people out. That wasn't my intention when I made this room. I don't really like it. I'm hoping that glitch gets fixed like tomorrow if at all possible. So you'll be able to see that a couple people do end up getting through it. So let's jump into a couple of replays to show it off a little bit. We're going to start off with This one, Hypnotic Hindu, is a level 16 mage. This is a level 16 castle. I think it'll work very well up until level 20 as well. I'm not sure about after that, but at level 20, Pete Poundmores are pretty much the strongest that they get throughout the entire game, in my opinion. So let's jump into this replay and see how it all works.
Let's see this
Alright.
embarrassment you call a defense.
So I believe I remember this replay. He actually has the electric charge or whatever, but he doesn't use it nearly as much, if I remember correctly. I don't remember. I looked at all of these replays, and I had a ton of them over the last 2 days. Haven't really been able to log in because I've been busy the last 2 days, but when I came in, pretty much all of my replays were just from the last 2 days. Like, they had all reset because I got so many of them. So you can kind of see, there's only one attacking right now. The rest of them will just kind of stand there until damage gets done to them, and now they're all aggroed, and they just kind of keep charging at you. And the cool thing about this is when they start to get damaged, they'll actually back up through the jelly wall. If they get damaged low enough, they'll go into their retreat mode, and they'll actually retreat backwards down towards the ends of these jelly walls, and it's really hard to actually chase them and find them when you have all three of them aggroed at the same time. So a lot of times you'll have one of them healing up, two of them attacking you, and then they kind of trade out and they constantly are healing like that. It doesn't happen all that frequently because a lot of the times you'll get a crit or something, or you'll manage to kill them off, but when that does happen, it's pretty cool. And I think it's an interesting room. I would say that it's not the best room when you're trying to like specifically go for defending and kills and stuff like that, but I think it's a really cool room. It adds for some pretty good replays, at least in my opinion. I think these are pretty fun replays. Let's see, the next one we've got alright, so we'll do Spirit CZ. I have kind of a list of replays that I wanted to show specifically, and then if we have some time after, I'll throw in a couple of extras. But I wanted to do a couple wins from each class, and then a couple of losses from each class, so it kind of, you can see people winning for each different class, and you can see how it performs against each one as well. So archers, you know, you can see you still get stuck in the jelly wall a little bit, and I put this mine over here just to waste a little bit of time. There's no other reason really. I should probably have a ballista here as well, but I don't have any room on my generator, so I would have to have a lot more defense points to throw in another generator. And then you get up to this point, and one of them charges you into the wall is the whole purpose, and you just kind of have to back up. And you can see, once you aggro all three of them, they can dish out quite a bit of damage pretty quickly. Alright, there was another one we had, like, let's see if I can find it. Right here. Level 14 mage I wanted to watch. I think he takes a second to get started. There we go.
This pathetic excuse for a castle will soon be rubble.
The end of my castle, since I'm only really talking about this room, the end of my castle is for the most part the same. I did remove that secondary Scorpio group though that I had before, to make room for points to actually do this group here.
Are you again?
So this guy's 2 levels under my castle, so he's getting beat up a lot more than what normal people would get beat up, but they do quite a bit of damage. It's not so bad. Alright, let's look at right here. We have I think I wanted to go with the first of his replays right here, So Taker. I'm trying to avoid the replays in which glitches happen, just because if people don't know what it is yet, I don't want to encourage people to actually use it. Like, it's so silly, so I'm hoping that it'll get fixed pretty shortly after this video comes out, because I know there's pretty big threads already on pretty much every subforum, so I'm assuming that if people have paid any attention and have like looked for it at all, that you already know what it is. Bear traps shut this down pretty nicely. This is how I tend to do my own castle, is I tend to kite it back to this open area here, and I do a little bit more dodging. You know, I use bear traps and I just roll around. I'll even run through my castle. towards the end. Alright, let's see, what else do we have? We have all the way back down. We have CET. I could watch both of his replays because I haven't watched a knight win or lose yet. So I'll do one more where a knight loses, although he makes it through the Pete Poundmore area pretty easily. Like I said, this is not nearly as good against knights as it is against the other two classes, which is kind of weird because normally archers tend to be pretty good against Pete Poundmores, but when you're up against three of them, you can't stun lock them nearly as well as back when you could just use bear traps to stun lock one of them. And mages tend to have all of their abilities and even some of their stabs as AoE effects, so it just kind of aggroes all three of them pretty quickly. Currently I have one puppeteer with them as well. He's on Enrage. I don't think he really adds much to the performance of it though. I might even switch him out to heal, I don't know. It might also be because he's only on, he can't AoE heal, AoE Enrage yet. So as you can see, against knights it's a lot easier for them to single out one Pete Poundmores, and the other ones just kind of stand there until you kill one and then he gets a ticket to attack. And, you know, now for some reason he actually aggroed the other. But eventually he'll kill them. As you can see, they're backing off to try to heal, and that's what I was talking about. If you kite them to the back of the room like that, they'll run through all of the jelly walls, and then if you want to try to chase them, you have to chase them through jelly walls, so it's pretty good, as well as trying to be dodging against the other two that are charging you. And then my boss room is pretty much exactly the same. You got 4 Defendatrons, which is on the high side. I might switch out one of them, but it does keep the Zeeks alive pretty well against volley and stuff like that. And I think 4 Zeeks, I believe, is what I have in the total. Should be enough to kill pretty much anyone if they get caught by it, so I think it's enough DPS. I'm trying to stay a little bit more clear of everything in the boss room, but it is difficult to make really good castles because nothing combos well together like it used to, like way back when. All of the stuns on creatures and like hunger bots have been nerfed so much based on their speed of their hook and all of that. It was a lot better when everything could combo together nicely. It was easier to use less units to get the job done, you know? And now it's almost like you have to spam a ton of mobs just to have enough DPS to actually kill someone. But I'm trying to stay a little bit more clear. Like, this boss room might stay around for a little while, but the rest of the points that I get as I'm leveling up my castle is going to go into other things to try to defend, like the Pete Poundmore Jelly Wall combo. Alright, so we did CET, that was his loss. His win is very similar. He basically just kites it around the same as he did here, except he takes a lot less damage from the Pete Poundmore room. So last time he went through this, he used 2 potions to get through the Pete Poundmore area. This time I believe he only uses 1 or even 0. So I'm just going to run it on 4x because it's, you know, a fairly long replay and it doesn't really show off the new room all that well. But you can see it's a lot easier for knights, basically. Although I would say that the boss room is a lot harder for knights, so it kind of works out that way. That being said, I would say that this defense is more of a for-fun defense rather than a very serious trying to get wins defense. I don't think it's like the best thing you could make if you were going for straight-up wins. But it leads to some fun replays. People trying to fight inside of jelly walls with a slow attack speed and just getting absolutely destroyed by 3 Cyclops slamming into them. It's pretty awesome. Alright, what do we have next? We're looking for an archer and a mage that beat the defense, so let's see. We'll look at these 2 guys. So we have a mage and we have an archer. We'll jump into the archer right now. And then at the end of it, I'll just run through my own castle. I have to revalidate it anyway. I believe I upgraded a mine, or I upgraded maybe my puppeteer or something. So I have to revalidate it anyway, so I'll do that. So yeah, this guy's quite a bit higher level. He can deal out quite a bit of DPS, as you guys can see. But you can see how he's trying to run away and heal up. When the other 2 Pete Poundmores are alive, it makes that work a lot better. Because it's hard to chase someone through jelly walls while you're being charged by 2 other Pete Poundmores. And like I said at the start of the video, the peat poundmores don't really get impeded by the jelly walls movement. I'm not sure if they do at all when they're walking, but when they're charging, definitely not. At first I just thought when they were charging, but it seems like they might not get impeded at all. Which might be a bug, I don't know if it's intended or not, but I think that they should never really get impeded by when they're charging, because they don't get impeded by caltrops. That was at least my initial thinking when I threw it all together. Alright, so he's kind of pulling it back like I said to do. He's, you know, slowly kiting them out a little bit more, rather than me going a full room back. I'll go on ×2. But yeah, I need some pressure in this area. You can definitely see that, well, like I said in the beginning of the video, I do need to put in some traps, a couple ballista traps probably, in this area here. I mean, I could even do a secondary jelly wall room, and then add in like another couple units down in the room like right next to it. I don't know. We'll see exactly what I decide to do. It'll be based on points as well. Jelly wall rooms, they do take quite a few points to actually throw together, so that's why I said they're probably not the most effective use of your points to actually get kills, but they're pretty fun, so. Alright, and then our last one is that mage. So let's watch him.
It is time for you to ride the lightning.
And this one's also one level over my castle. And this actually might not be the best room to even do this in. I might want to do something where there's a larger choke here, because they do seem to get kind of hung up on this choke behind each other. So I might want to do a slightly larger choke. We'll see. I might change this all up. But the kind of idea is here, and the like concept, I guess. It's pretty much the same. You can see this peat poundmore ran over here to get healed through the jelly walls. He ended up healing up to full. So that's what I was kind of talking about, where people have a little bit lower DPS. They'll run away and heal themselves up, but then come back full health. I also think that I might want to move these Zeeks back just slightly, although I don't think any of them actually aggroed, which was the main problem with that. But if they happen to aggro and they're far enough away, they should be able to shoot you when you're being stunned by the mouse trap plus the springboard trap.
I wish I knew a healing spell.
He actually doesn't have any potions, so it's pretty impressive that he gets through all of this without actually dying. He's down to 246 health. So yeah, he's pulling him back, and like I said again, I need some pressure in this room here, this small little corridor. At least one ballista trap would be very helpful.
Just in time.
But a couple of them wouldn't be bad either, because it's the main area that you have to pull back to get these guys to come out of the boss room. And if you pull back any more than that, you're stuck in a jelly wall room, which is definitely not ideal for someone to fight inside of. Alright, and then he makes it through. So let's validate my own castle really quickly. I'll kind of show my way of actually getting through it, which is generally how I want it to perform anyway. I just kind of run through it, but I am level 21. I'll get set back to level 16, but I don't think it scales perfectly. I think I still get the abilities mainly. I think that's the main thing that that they still need to scale back, because I think I still have the abilities that I need. So, all right, so I'll run over here and kill off this mine first. Jump into here, aggro the group with an auto attack or two. Once it's aggroed, come back, drop my bear traps, because I want the cooldown to come up as quickly as possible. Kind of roll out of the way a couple of times, drop more bear traps, try to get to the side of them. These guys are healing up in the corner, I don't want that to happen, so I'm kind of trying to flare them down best I can. Alright. And then that's the last one there. Go into the boss room. I'm probably not going to quite aggro it yet. I like to aggro it and then just pull back. Like if you can aggro it without getting to the opposite side of the mouse wheel, it makes it a little bit easier. And then I will kill this Count Snottingham first. And then pull it back even farther than I normally do. Drop down a volley in between the Defendatron's AoE. And these guys are kind of bugging out a little bit, which is not ideal. Hopefully they'll all come out though. And yeah, it's pretty easy. You just dodge everything, and I didn't really take any damage whatsoever. Drop the volley to kill off those two mines. I could have done this a little bit quicker, and I probably will eventually get my time a little bit better. As you can see, it's about 20 seconds over my last time, and I could definitely do it better. So I might do that after I end this video, just get the time a little bit better. But you can see how I was able to do that pretty easily. And another person got defeated by my defenses. But yeah, just collect my tombstones for the day. Usually I'm maxed out every day when I collect tombstones, which is pretty cool. But that's the defense. Hopefully the glitch will get fixed within the next couple of days. If you end up figuring out how to do the glitch very well, where you're able to do it like more than 50% of the time, just don't do it. Like, there's no reason to do that. It's just silly. I've actually stopped attacking for the most part on my archer because everything up at like level 20 plus is pretty much glitch castles, which is annoying. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a pretty cool little fun defense to do with these jelly walls and everything. It just makes for some fun replays. So yeah, with that said, we're going to end the video. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.